Dominic.
Hi, Henry.
How are you doing?
I'm good. You?
Right. So I have in my hands here the cocoa flakes toasted coconut.
Sure.
How did you guys come about making this particular product?
Okay, so as you can see, we carefully select coconut that comes to our end and make sure that every coconut is in very good condition. We use our machines to separate the coconut so that we get carefully crafted shells like these, which we sell to another market for them to produce artifacts like these ones, and then the key rings. So what we basically do here is do pre-processing. We separate the coconut into various parts. We get the shell. We get the carefully scooped copra. As you can see here, there's the copra. And then we have the husk too here. We sell the husk to markets to make cocoa pits to feed their industry. And then when we come here, we use our prototype grating machine that is here to grate the flakes for us to get very carefully crafted flakes like this. Then Esperanza puts them into the oven. We bake them for about 2 to 3 hours to get the crunchy taste that you see here. So as you can see, Esperanza is preparing the flakes, the copra to be processed right now. As you can see, she will quickly put it in the oven, and then you just have a feel of how it looks like in a moment. We started with this package in the bottle, very small chunks. We had a feedback that people who are on the go are like, do they have to pour it before they put it in their mouth? It's not too convenient for them. So we migrated 2 larger chunks like these ones. So as you can see, these chunks are a bit larger so that you can just dip your finger in the pack, you scoop it out, and you just munch on it. This is also a resealable pack, so when you finish munching it, you can just seal it back to keep it that crunchy taste. Then you're on the go.
Right. So what was the price of this? How much does this
We sell this for 3 cedi.
And same as the bottle?
The same as the bottle, yeah. It's the same quantity. They are all 50 grams.
All right. So I would want you to, give me a bit of a detail into how the flakes are being produced.
Okay.
You spoke about it briefly.
Once the flakes is mixed with the ingredients, it goes into the oven. And we don't bake all at once. It has to be carefully baked in batches. And because the flake is also lighter, you need to constantly stir so that you don't get burnt coconut. So that's basically it. So it goes into the oven, and then about 5 to 10 minutes, I bring it out and I stir it. So as it goes on for within an hour, you will see that the golden color starts coming out, and then you end up getting your final product such as this, and then it's packaged.
In for farmers in Ghana and in Africa to adapt to the ever-increasing climate actions. We as Climatech want to come in and provide climate-smart solutions within the agricultural space in Ghana and Africa at large. But we are starting with the fruit tree industry in Ghana. During our market research, we realized that the fruit tree farmers in Ghana, a lot of investments are gone into the fruit tree industry already. So Ghana here, we experience a lot of drought. We have a long drought. So during that time, the soil loses a lot of water. And when it loses a lot of water like that, it then affects the fruits that the farmer has to yield. So we have a solution for it. Farmers are already into the climate adaptation things, that they are already doing things to adapt to climate, that is mulching. But once you realize that they are using leaves to be doing the mulching, they use the branches and all that.
Right, fascinating stuff there. Who knew how much you could do from coconut? Well, today we're going to engage with Coconut World, represented today by Dominic Dodu. And later we're hoping to be joined by Ebenezer Usa Champong of Climatech. So, Dominic, some pretty amazing products there.
Thank you.
Indeed. All right, so I mean, talk me through it. What, you stumbled upon a coconut one day and suddenly started having ideas?
Not really. I mean, we sat down quietly to see that there's a lot of waste on the coconut value chain, whereas there is gold underneath that waste. So we as a team sat down quietly, and then we saw how best we could fit into that industry maximize the use of the potential within the coconut, which is treated as waste, and then thereby creating employment for people. Yeah.
Has it been easy developing your products so far?
It hasn't been easy. It has taken a carefully oriented process for us to get to the point we are now. We were all over the place from the beginning, but by the careful guidance of the KIC program, we have been able to narrow down to a specific place now.
What would you say were some of the challenges you faced in developing your products?
You know, the coconut industry is very big. So if you want to go all over the place, you wouldn't know where to start from. So, I mean, coming down to a specific product was one of the greatest challenges we had from the beginning. But by the grace of God, we've been able to settle on one. Yeah.
Now, I've noticed that you've got all kinds of rather nicely crafted products from the inner shell of the coconut.
Sure.
So this is like a decorative container.
Yes,
is that right?
Like a decorative container. It's also used to package shea butter, cocoa butter too.
Okay.
Hitherto, this would have gone waste. So when we cut the coconut, the matured coconut, we separate the parts where we use the copra or the meat, what we call the meat, to do this is our flagship product, the coconut flakes. So we sell the shells to another market to also make these.
Right.
We currently have also produced buttons from the, as you can see.
Yeah. These are some great looking buttons. Sure. I don't know if you can come in close, but this is what the button looks like. Well, we'll try and get you a close-up of that, but of these buttons, but they're beautifully crafted. There you go. There you go. See? Wonderful. All right, then, let's get my horrible nails off the television. That's the button. Okay, and then we've got these key holders as well.
The key rings and the name tags. So for corporate entities, you can use a coconut shell to replace your metallic name tags.
And put your logo and everything
your name,
on there.
your logo, anything that you want designed on it can also be designed on it.
That's wonderful. So you know, are these expensive to make? Is your production cost quite high?
The production cost is within our budget. It's not expensive to make.
Okay. Yeah. Where do you source the materials? Do you have a plantation, or where are you getting the coconut?
I'm a coconut farmer myself.
Okay.
I started this journey about 3-4 years ago, personally. So we source the coconut because we are looking at the matured coconut. We source them from the western region. Right. There's another depth of coconut in the Volta region, which is being untapped because most of the coconut from the Volta, the water is salty. So you need the matured ones to venture into businesses like this. So that's where we tap our raw materials from.
Wonderful, wonderful. How big is your organization? How many people?
Okay, for now we are 4 co-founders, and then we have employed 2 other people to help us in the production.
Okay. You're hoping you'll win this 50,000?
Yes, we are very optimistic we'll win the 50,000.
What will it be used for if you're successful?
Okay, when we get the 50,000, we will use some of the money to buy equipment to make our production more efficient. We'll source for more coconuts from varied other places, and then also develop our production along the line and venture into other value-added products. As you can see, there are lots of products we can make. Yeah. We are looking at, we are currently in talks with Forestry Commission. We want to run some trials using the coconut waste. That's the fresh cut market leaves on the street. We want to use it for charcoal and activated carbon. The activated carbon, we import close to $6 million worth of activated carbon annually for the mining industry. So if we tap into that industry, we know that we are in good business.
That's wonderful. Well, I certainly wish you the very best for the future. Dominic Dudu is with Coconut World, and he's a finalist in this year's contest. All right, now in a moment we're going to meet Ebenezer Uswa Champong from Climatech. Now, the Climatech is one of the 11 contenders providing climate-smart solutions within the agric space with their flagship product called Amulchi. Let's check them out.
We are in for farmers in Ghana and in Africa to adapt to the ever-increasing climate actions. We as Climatech want to come in and provide climate-smart solutions within the agricultural space in Ghana and Africa at large But we are starting with the fruit tree industry in Ghana. During our market research, we realized that the fruit tree farmers in Ghana, a lot of investments are gone into the fruit tree industry already. So Ghana here, we experience a lot of drought. We have a long drought. So during that time, the soil loses a lot of water. And when it loses a lot of water like that, it then affects the fruits that the farmer have to yield. So we have a solution for it. Farmers are already into the climate adaptation things, that they are already doing things to adapt to climate. That is mulching. But once you realize that they are using leaves to be doing the mulching, they use the branches and all that. All these are not sustainable. And we are in a modernized world where we are gradually graduating to a sustainable farming. That's why we also research more and find out that there will be a more sustainable way farmers can adapt to the ever-increasing climate action. There comes Climatech. The beauty of our innovation is how we leverage on the coconut waste. We realize that one of the products that we can use in order to come out with our innovation is fiber. That's coconut fiber. And we watch around, coconut waste have been polluting the environment. Most of the floods that are caused in our cities are as a result of coconut waste, indiscriminately dumping of coconut waste in the gutters that we found around. So we are clearing the environment, taking these coconut waste, processing them into this fiber that you see here. When we process and get this fiber, then we compress it with a fiber separator and all that. Then we get this. This is a fiber mat. When we have this fiber mat, then we do acid in a thickness for the thickness, so that we can get a mulch pad from it. So this is a mulch pad designed for younger plants. So if you have a younger plant, you put this inside around it, and it can conserve up to 30% soil moisture for you. And for weed control, weed cannot grow in this one, so you have 100% weed control and all that.
Yeah, fascinating stuff there. And Ebenezer Usuachampon joins us now from Climatech. Wow, quite a product there. Very innovative. I see how you arrived at that solution. But tell me, when did you first notice that there was a problem that needed solving?
All right, so we went into the KIC challenge last year, and we were taken to our research. So we went for a long research and realized that when we interacted with the farmers, one of the key issues that they were encountering is the climate actions. You know, the global warming and all is that. So in the agricultural space too, these global warming and climate actions are affecting them. Yeah. You see that it's either the land is flooded, or especially in our parts, during the long dry season, you realize that the farmers are not able to conserve adequate soil moisture. So we saw that they were also using some traditional ways. They were using some traditional ways that they were using it to, like, conserve this soil moisture. But they were using leaves, some were using some branches and all that. We realized that were not sustainable. So we realized that we can bring the modern way in which these farmers can now mulch and adapt to climate actions. So we researched around, we talked to consultants and all that, and realized that the coconut fiber has a higher water retention capacity. So if during dry season, farmers are losing their water through respiration or through evaporation, then we get a fiber which can conserve this water for them. Not only that, we realize that farmers also lose up to 50% of their harvest. You see, most of the oranges or the fruit that we buy, some are smaller in size and all that. It's because there are not adequate water in the soil to keep it. So we realize that even when you invest into the fruit tree industry right now, there are going to be great loss. Why? Because climate action is affecting it. There we came out with our product, that is our mulch. The beauty is that we also realize that coconut is polluting, especially the waste. You'll be here and you'll be thinking that this coconut waste that is generated each year, people are dumping it. No, they are dumping it indiscriminately. You walk around the gutters, some even use it to fill the potholes. They are saying they are filling the potholes with the coconut. So we are clearing the environment, converting this coconut waste into fiber. When we use the fiber to provide the modernized way that farmers can mulch their products. So that's the whole area that we can help us to.
This is interesting. Now, you call your solution sustainable.
Yes.
But I mean, goodness, how many acres of farmland is there in Ghana? Is there enough coconut to mulch all of it?
Fantastic. So one key thing that we realized is that when we went for the markets, we realized we encountered a lot of large plantations. A lot of people are into the farming or into the production of fruit trees. And in Ghana here, coconut is rising, and a lot of young people are also even going into coconut. You see, hitherto, when you look around, you will not see coconut vendors all around. But right now, the rise has come. If coconut vendors has rise to this level, it means the coconut production in Ghana has been on a high. And that is why we are also leveraging on that also. So coconut, we will be able to get it. The sustainability that I was talking about was due to the fact that farmers are to adapt to the climate action with sustainable method. So what they are using, the leaves, the branches, there is one way they can use it, but the question is, are these methods sustainable? So that is why we are bringing the modern way in which we have another beauty part of our product where we are connecting a dew collector. A dew collector, we set it around your farm. This dew collector will trap dew from during the night. It will trap dew and supply with the pipelines. We are also making sure that one links to the mulch part. So we are not just providing you with an evaporative agent where you adapt to just the climate. We are providing you with a mechanized system, modern way, whereby it traps dew. So when you are spending much on irrigation, this dew collector is going to make sure that it traps dew, connect it and make sure the mulch is wet at all times.
That's,
so that's
amazing. That's amazing. So some serious moisture solutions there.
Fantastic.
Coming from Climatech. Listen, I wish you all the very best of luck, and let's see, may the best idea win.
Thank you very much.
Right, that's Ebenezer Owusu Achampong with Climatech, and he and his team are hoping that they will emerge victorious in this year's KIC Agritech contest.